So the question they ask you is, what is the reading shown on the micrometer? The very first step is you have to check the main scale. This is your main scale. So we see how much data or how many millimeters is covered on the main scale. This main scale is in millimeters. So how many millimeters are covered on the main scale? So if I zoom it in, like over here, this line is representing 0. Then this one below represents 0.5. So 0, 0.5, 1, 1.5. So 1.5 millimeters is covered on the main scale. That's your main scale reading, 1.5 millimeters. How do we sort it out? Let me go through it once again. The upper lines are counted 1 millimeter. So 0, then 0.5, then 1, then 1.5. We don't have any other line on the main scale because after 1.5, the circular scale line starts. So this is what we get from the main scale. How much once again? 1.5. Main scale reading is 1.5 millimeters. That's for the first step. Up next, you need to find the reading of the circular scale. What's the circular scale? This one. Then how do we find the reading of the circular scale? So all you gotta do is keep a good focus on the central line. Yeah, here we go. Now keep a check on the blue line. This is called main scale axis. You need to look for the line of the circular scale that coincides or that overlaps with the blue line. The line of the circular scale that overlaps or coincides or matches the blue line or the main scale axis. So if I remove this one just for a time being, and I'll just draw one red line over here just on the left side so you can see clearly. So we gotta look for the line of the circular scale that matches the red line. It is 36. Very good. So you see we have 35 over here, and if we go upward the reading should increase. So it should not be 34, it should be 36. So we have 36 here, 37, then line number 38, then line number 39, only then we get 40 over here. So this line is exactly 36. So we add the reading of the circular scale. So the circular scale reading was 36, but it will be written as 36 times 0.01 millimeters. All right, whatever the reading of the circular scale is, means whatever the line of the circular scale is coinciding the line of the main scale, it would be written as that line number times 0.01. And you don't even need calculator for that. 36 times 0.01 would be 0.36. It would be 0.36. So what's your circular scale reading? Now your circular scale reading is 0.36. Now how do we find the final reading? Well, the next step is we take a look at the main scale reading, we take a look at the circular scale reading, and then we add these two. So 1.5 millimeters plus 0.36 millimeters. All right, and what do we get? 1.86 millimeters. And this is, matter of fact, this is how you need to write the final answer. The final answer of the reading of micrometer should be written to 2 decimal places in millimeters. So 1.86 millimeters. So here we have the second one. Once again, the question is, what's the reading shown on the micrometer? We need to check the main scale, and to make it easier, I'm going to zoom it in over here so we can clearly see the main scale. So if I mark the lines, this is 0, and then this one would be 0 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4. So we have 4 lines completely being covered on the main scale. So the reading on the main scale is 4 millimeters. If you want to write it as 4.0, you can. The reading on the main scale is 4 millimeters. This is what we get from the main scale. So once again, this one was 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and the lower lines are 0.5. So 0, 0.51, 1.5, and this way. So that was the first step. So we had the reading 4 millimeter from the main scale. So let's check out the reading of the circular scale. So for that one, I'm going to mark the main scale line first. So this is your main scale line, or you can say main scale axis or principal axis, whatever you want to call that. We need to find the line of the circular scale that coincides with this one. What line number is that? Line number 21. Very good. So how do we write it down? We say line number 21 times the precision or the least count of the micrometer, which is 0.01, and that is 0.21. We don't even need calculator for that. Millimeters. And then what's the final step? We gotta add these two readings. So 4 plus 0.21. Once again, we don't even need calculator. 4.21 millimeters. So that's the final reading. All right, then we have the next one. So I'm going to make this one fast forward. So the main scale reading is 10, 10.5, 11 millimeters. And the reading on the circular scale is 15. So it was line number 15, and once multiplied by what do you call that? The least count of the micrometer. The least count of the micrometer was 0.01. If you multiply 15 by 0.01, you get 0.15 millimeters. So what's the final reading? 15.15 millimeters. Or in centimeters, it would be 1.115 centimeters. Let's take a look at the next one. Now this one could be slightly tricky. You see, no line is being covered on the main scale except for the line 0. So the main scale reading in this situation is 0. MSR, the main scale reading is 0 millimeters. But then we have to look for the line that matches this line from the circular scale, and that is line number 9. So circular scale reading, it is line number 9. 9 after being multiplied by 0.01 would be 0.09. We gotta be very careful with it. Many of the students will write 0.9 millimeters. No, 9 times 0.01 would be 0.09 millimeters, and then the final answer would be written as 0.09 millimeters, or if all the options are in centimeters, then 0.009 centimeter. Make sure whenever you write the final answer for the micrometer, you should be having two decimal places for millimeters, and you should be having three decimal places for centimeter, because we have to correspond to the precision of the instrument. And I told you in the first lesson that whenever we take reading through the instrument, we don't care about the significant figure, rather we care about the decimal places.